Afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Actually, good morning. Oh my gosh, it's just a lot 10:49. So, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Kimberly Trimmel. Hi. Good morning. Like to thank each and every one of you for jumping online this morning with me. Um, Today, we're going to talk about a concept that came to my mind when I was speaking with one of my mentors the other day, Mark Cole, and we were talking about life and how things have changed. So let's talk a little bit about first, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope everybody's doing well. It is wet, it is rainy outside, and it's in the 60s, if you could believe that, right? So welcome everyone. My name is Kimberly Trimmel. I would be remiss or I would be making an error if I did not take a moment and say thank you to each and every one of you that congratulated me on becoming a John Maxwell certified trainer, speaker, and coach. So I've always been speaking. It's just really cool to add in that certification and additional elements, especially the coaching element. I'm having fun with that. So what I wanted to do is first off, besides saying thank you, it almost ties to my Facebook post this morning. It says, wherever you go, no matter what the weather, always bring your own sunshine. No matter where you go, no matter what the weather, always bring your own sunshine. So, what does that mean? Do we have to walk around with our head in the clouds? No, not necessarily. That's not the point. The point here is that you choose your you choose your attitude for the day, kind of like what you're going to wear. We've talked about that before. But what I want to talk about today, besides, of course, the weather, which you're going to change in your mind, grab an umbrella, realize that we probably won't melt unless we're really full on sugar, which I suppose we could be. But you can manage around it. But why is managing around this important and relevant to what I wanted to share with you today? Well, today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about living a plan A day in a plan B world. Living a plan A day in a plan B world. How many of you did your goal setting for 2020 and 2019? Actually, I did it with a few people. I did goal setting sessions. And I am almost firmly convinced that no one ever saw on their radar the fact that 2020 would be the way it is. I mean, think about it. 2020, what do we normally think of? When we think about 2020, we think about 2020 vision, right? We think about clarity. We think about the ability to see clearly. I think I've heard it best said that this is probably the only time or of late where leaders' favorite sentence, and it's not their favorite, it's just where they end up, is I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know. What's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. But, being okay in that I don't know space is so important. So these are some of the thoughts that, what I talked about with my mentor today, and then also came to my mind and I wanted to share with you. Remember when you came up with a plan for 2019, for 2020, in 2019, for 2020? My guess is that plan didn't exactly pan out the way you thought it would, right? So the other day I was realizing I was probably guilty of trying to live my plan A life in a plan B environment. Reality is things changed, right? Life has had a shift. So because of that, if we keep trying to do things in rote the way we did them before, it might not work, and usually it doesn't. So what are some of the things that we want to maybe make that shift in our minds? Well, one of the things we might want to think about is how we lead. I'm actually preparing for a leadership training. I do those on Tuesdays, and I'm probably going to add Wednesdays at some point. But how many of us have always this is the way it's done. This is the way it is. I'm the one telling you what to do. Let's think about some quotes I'll actually share with you. When you envision leadership, do you envision it this way? Do you think about Winston Churchill saying, never, never give up? That's a great way of thinking of it. Winston Churchill's famous quote, never, never give up. What about John F. Kennedy's, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country? Still a valid question. So how about Mr. Ronald Reagan? This is what he told Gorbachev years ago in the Cold War with Russia. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And if we think about it, is that the way we envision leadership? Or do we envision it on a battlefield, under siege, and a general giving orders to their troops? All of these are valid ways of leading. All of them are valid ways of leading. Leaders, what are their goal? Their goal is to inspire, to give hope. I think hope is probably a biggest value add right now. Leaders are looking for ways to stay relevant, to connect with their people. And I want to add for consideration another picture of leadership, one that's not commonly envisioned. It's okay for a leader to ask questions of their people. I'm going to say that again. It is okay for a leader to ask questions of their people. So what do we think about when we think of leaders? Generally speaking, we think of leaders, this is the way it's done. This is the way it's going to be done. These are the results you're going to get. And unfortunately, many leaders don't realize that it's okay to ask questions, especially in a Plan B environment. Think about it again. Plan A was direct, direct, direct. This is how it's going to be. We would get buy-in, of course, from the people on our team. But basically, one of the things we're going to ask is ask ourselves, is one of the functions of leadership, and I'm actually grabbing this from one of my other favorite books, Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. This is by John Maxwell. And you want to get really good at asking questions. Now, does it matter that your people give the exact answer that you think that they should give? In actuality, it does not. In actuality, the quality of their answer has nothing to do as much with the fact that they're participating. No matter what level of employee you're looking at, think about it. We generally speak, we've got all different types of owners. We've got owners, we've got employees from entry-level jobs to CEO jobs. And if you think about that for a minute, the reality is that oftentimes we think we know the answers, right? We think that we know it. So one of the things Coach John Wooden said, or he would have asked, is why is it so difficult to realize that others are more likely to listen to us if we listen to them? I'll repeat that. Why is it so difficult to realize that others are more likely to listen to us if we listen to them? We want to back up our behavior with listening to our team. Maybe, and I submit this to you for consideration, maybe at a higher level than we ever had. As a leader, we have to come with our A game. Not that you weren't coming with our A game before, but now more than ever, every single day, not as much as it was in the past, but every single day, something changes. Something changes. Think back to, and I'll repeat this probably forever whenever I tell this story. Think about March 20th. Life came to a hard stop, just stopped. Everybody was trying to shift, pivot, and stay afloat, right? So we're going to have to push ourselves to ask the questions that might be hard to listen to the answers. What if you have to consider how good of a listener are you? To become a better leader, you have to be a better listener. So what are some of the questions that you could ask? You could ask people, do you feel valued? I mean, boy, that sounds like a very vulnerable question, doesn't it? How many people would generally ask that out the gate? Well, some people would. My guess is some people would. Do you feel part of the bigger picture? What if you have a bigger issue that you have to deal with? What if you have some shifting going on in your company? What if you have to have a dual message about growth and then one about changes? How do you address that with an authentic perspective where people know that they are valued? Telling someone that you might be merging or you might not be merging, or you might even be changing positions. How do you have that conversation in an authentic manner with the utmost of sincerity to let people know that they're valued? There's a couple of things that you could do in our Plan B world. You might have to shift. Good morning. You might have to shift your plan from the Plan A, rote way of doing things, to Plan B. Let's get buy-in at a different level. Let's at least let people know sometimes we have to make hard decisions. As owners and as business, as managers, CEOs, we have to make difficult decisions. What's wrong with letting them know that it's a difficult decision? What's wrong with letting them know that this might be challenging for you? Because who's ready to have a conversation about changing? So stay authentic. Be mindful of the fact of how they might feel in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes, no matter what the message is. Depending upon how difficult the message is to deliver, you might even want to consider breaking up how you have that conversation. So having or living a Plan A day in a Plan B world, short version of all this is that Plan A's, it's gone. Now, is it gone forever? I don't know. Now, but what can we do though? One of my favorite phrases my mom taught me is make lemons out of lemonade. Other way around, lemonade out of lemons. Okay, I got it backwards. I know my mom didn't tell me that way. So why is this important? Because sometimes life gives us a bitter pill. We can either take a swig of our favorite soda, a glass of water, or we could try to take the bitter pill straight. But our living in an Plan B world, trying to do everything we did in Plan A. If you're wondering, why is this working differently, or why is this maybe not working? Take a moment, stop, reevaluate, see what's going on. One of the things I'm on the process of is I want to stay in my KPI. So what's my KPI? My KPI is my key performance index. What or initiatives, whichever way you want to look at it. What is it that gives you the most return out of what you do daily? Does it give you a lot of joy? Does it give you high results? And if you're rating on a schedule from 1 to 3, or on a rating scale from 1 to 3, 1 being low, 2 being right in the middle, 3 being high, which one and where are your number 3 top priority? Where are they coming from? Ideally, you want to have mostly 3s, right? You want to be in your passion, you want to be in purpose, and you also want to be impactful. You want to make sure that you're getting the results from the activities you're doing. Now, if you find yourself looking in 1s at all the time, you're like low productive activity, maybe you need to reevaluate. Not telling you what to do, I'm just saying it's something I've done for myself. So how do you evaluate this? Well, you could do it weekly, you could do it monthly. I usually like to do it right around November because it's a great time for forecasting, October, November, but I'll do it throughout the year. Just take a look at what am I doing? Unpack things. Take a look and see what's working, what's not working. Am I getting a high return, high results, high effectiveness? It's a 3. Am I not getting any results? It's a 1. Is it a 2 right in the middle and you got to kind of test it out and figure it out a little bit more? Basically, this will help you. And as you think about going into unpacking, you could look at, where are you learning or who are you learning from outside of the industry you currently serve? Are you learning? Are you in growth mode? That's really important. I can say now more than ever, everybody having a growth plan is so important. If you as a leader do not make certain to stay in growth mode, it's going to be challenging to continue to lead your people. It's like getting a good night's rest, eating right, drinking your water. Corny though that may sound, it makes an absolute difference. And then how intentional are you about learning? So when we're looking at living in a plan B world, one that we may never have had a backup plan for. We already had what we do in next. But right now we're doing it in tandem. We're trying to figure out, okay, what does this new normal, quote unquote, look like? So living in a plan B world with a plan A mentality is not going to help. You'll need to, I can't say you need to, but a person can consider, what do I need to shift? What do I need to change? I know when this whole shelter in place thing started, I started with, I started with leading through crisis. That was one of the very well received trainings that I did. And then from that, I moved on to leadership content, which is 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And I did adversity and crisis, or how to manage adversity and turn it into an advantage. And lately I've been working towards communication. A lot of people are saying, okay, how do I connect with my people at a higher level? So whatever the way is for you to get to your own personal next level, remember, prioritize it. Because if you don't, it won't get prioritized. I'll have a post up, and I think I put one up yesterday. I'm initially gifting a 45-minute virtual training. It's normally a $99 value, but I'm going to gift it just till probably, I don't know, next week, end of the week. I'd have to look at my calendar, but I want to say it'd be next the 15th. Let me just check that out. Nope, it's the 18th. And because of that, if you'd like to get in at the introductory initial, feel free to jump on. If you would like to reach out to me later, I absolutely am here to help people. And it's kind of like a concierge of services. I've got a couple of areas of specialty, and I've kind of blended them together and folded leadership and ethics and all those things into it. And so I am here to help you. If you ever have a question, or you want to call, or you want to text, feel free to do so. I'm absolutely open to that. But I really look forward, and I thank you once again. Number one, thank you once again for participating in my life. And for number two, I look forward to connecting and hearing from you all. And thank you all for those of you who jumped on to my Lunch and Learns, which I do in the afternoon, I do in the morning, and of course my masterminds, otherwise known as think tanks. We're getting a lot of great information, a lot of great feedback. So again, as you go through your Plan B life, don't reach back to your Plan A. Make adjustments. And if you need some ideas and some thoughts, and you want to kind of explore how we can do what's called leadership, shift in this change of ever-changing arena of leadership, then just feel free to reach out. Other than that, thanks for listening to me. As always, have a great day. Stay dry, stay warm. It's cool out there. And I'll see you around again on Facebook. Check out my YouTube, KimberlyTrimmel.com. I've got updates of all the things I've posted out there, and really value you all. And I'm having a blast, and thanks for having a blast with me. Be well. God bless. Take care.